Hey everyone, my name is Christine Gillis from Fit Balance Coaching, and I wanted to come to you today to talk to you a little bit about the company that I'm involved in. Because I know for me, it was hard to wrap my head around a company that I really didn't understand. But then as I start to understand what the company is and what it represents, I really found myself drawn to it because it really kind of lined up with myself and with my morals and what I felt that I stood for. And so I thought that if I could explain that to some of you, I have a lot of people who are on the fence. I have a lot of people who thank me for being real. You guys, that is probably one of the biggest compliments that anyone could ever pay me. When I hear somebody say to me, I just love how real you are and that you make me feel like you're just normal. And that's all I am. I'm just normal. I'm a mom who loves health and fitness and who belongs to a company that really encourages me to be the best person I can be. And that when I have a day or a week or a month that's not going great, I always have a chance to work on who I am. And so until people really understand what the company represents, it's really hard to kind of take that step because it's really unknown and it's not a traditional way to build a business. And you are online and you're building a network of people through social media. And we, if you're like kind of my age, we're of the generation where we don't really understand what social media is all about. So that can be really kind of tricky to understand. And so I wanted to let you know where the business came from and why it's something that really I feel that you can really put your name behind, because it really has given people the opportunity to be the best, most fulfilled people they can be, right? It really teaches them to be that person. So Carl Deichler and John Cogden used to own and run infomercials. And their infomercials weren't always fitness-based back then. I don't even know if you'd be able to find any. Okay, but that was their business. They were in the business of making infomercials. And one day they met Tony Horton. I was going to say Tony Robbins. Tony Horton. And he had workout programs. And they kind of got together and they decided to make not what we see today, because obviously the quality and all the digital stuff was very different, but they decided to kind of join forces. He had awesome workout programs. Carl Deichler and John Cogden were amazing at running really great infomercials. And I mean, you guys, if you see an infomercial for a Beachbody program on Sunday morning when you're laying on the couch, you bet your bottom dollar you feel like you want to buy it, right? Because he makes really great infomercials. And so they joined forces. And the name of the very first workout is not in my brain. I can't think of what it was. This is before Insanity. This is before, all of those other workouts that used to be older workouts and now are really old. It was even before that, okay? And so they had these programs being sold through their infomercial. And what they were finding is that there were people out there who were just genuinely wondering and asking people if they knew about these workouts. And so they had what we called chat rooms and forums, right? Can you remember like MSN and being in a chat room and you feeling like this is just so weird? I'm talking to someone who doesn't even live around me. Like, we're talking my generation where we didn't really know what this social media stuff wasn't around. Okay, so imagine you're talking to somebody in a chat room and they started to realize that the people who had somebody to talk to and they had somebody to kind of support them on the journey because they had been through it too, those people were getting really great results. They were improving their blood pressure scores. They were decreasing all that bad cholesterol. They were no longer in the obesity range, and they were finding support with strangers online. And so they started to develop this network. And they started to realize that the more coaches that started to join this network, the more powerful it became, and the more Carl's vision and Tony's vision and John Cogden's vision of helping more and more people started to come to life. And so they decided, rather than have all of these other little businesses pay for all of the marketing. They market, and they do an amazing job of marketing. You know when you're watching a Beachbody infomercial, and they sink a lot of money into their marketing, but we don't have to do that. But through our networks, we run what are now known as challenge groups. And we all have people in our lives who feel as though they don't have the energy, they don't have the support, or they don't have the community around them. And that is what kind of was born out of these chat rooms and these forums so many years ago. And so when I am part of a business that has that at its core, that at its value, right at the very core of its business, that I get to work on who I am, and that it's important that I do so, and that I recognize how important it is to make sure that I'm the healthiest I can be, so that I can then go from that core and help more and more people. That's an amazing business to be part of. And that's how Beachbody Coaches came to be. And it has just continued to grow and grow and grow. And so yes, there's a business side of it. And there's rewards, and there's trips, and there's prizes, and there's a financial piece to it. But the personal growth side of it, and the physical changes that myself and my coaches and my challengers go through, is at its core what this business is all about. So if any of that makes you feel like you want to be part of that, you may not understand what that is, and it may make you feel like, I get it, right? You kind of feel uncomfortable because that word network marketing, we have this place in our brain where in the 60s there were companies that promised you millions and sign me over these checks and you're going to make all this money. That was a scam. We call it a pyramid scheme, right? Someone at the top is promising you all of this money. That's not what Beachbody is all about. In fact, when they decided to go to network marketing, one of their core goals was to not become one of those network marketing companies that promises that you're going to make X amount of dollars in X amount of days. Have you ever noticed that Beachbody coaches don't talk about things like that? There is a financial part of Beachbody, but you would never see a Beachbody coach talk about, sign up with me and make $500 by midnight, right? Sell this many challenge packs and get a $5,000 bonus. Though it's not even in our literature. It's not in our lingo. It's not in our compensation plan. Okay? Our compensation plan is based on the lives that we change. It's based on the people that come into our life and who are ready to make changes, who get a challenge pack, who work out with us every day, who drink Shakeology every day, who understands how the value of those things work towards improving their life. That's what Beachbody coaches are all about. And I don't build my team with just anybody. I build my team with people who go through that inner shift of a transformation, who start to open up a little bit to learning just a little bit more about what our company represents. And it is work. It takes a lot of work. It takes dedicated time. I can certainly work in my sweats, and I can work in the cracks of my day. I can choose to work for 5 hours. I can choose to work for an hour. It's what I choose to put into it. But at its very core, Beachbody coaches simply are working to help other people find belief in themselves. And so if that has ever been something that you feel that you could be part of, I encourage you to message me. And even if it's to try out a challenge group, even if it's not to coach, but it's to make changes yourself, and you feel that ripple effect and you feel that motivation from me, that's the kind of ripple effect that I want to have in your life. Nothing about coaching. It's about having that ripple effect and having you join a challenge group with me so that you can be surrounded by other moms and dads. And it's primarily moms, but I got some rockin' dads on my team, I'll tell you right now, that just want to find balance. My page is Fit Balance Coaching for that purpose. I want moms to realize that making lunches and going to soccer and going on little day trips and cleaning out the cooler bags and, you know, like back to school shopping, all of those crazy chaotic things, you can still get 30 minutes of exercises in, and you can still make some really great food choices. I'm really sorry, I almost got through the entire video. But if that is something that you feel as though you can get and you want to do, I encourage you to reach out to me today, okay? You can do that by sending me a friend request. You can do that by emailing me, and my email is fitbalancecoaching@gmail.com, or you can send me a message right here on Fit Balance Coaching. I look forward to hearing from you. I'll talk to you soon.